Check out this preview of Straight Crankin', a brief history of go-go music.
My name Bugs.
My name is Anwan, Big Cheek Glover.
I'm the legendary DJ Cool.
Who would you say were the first 5 go-go bands?
The first 5?
First 5?
Rare Essence, Mass Extinction, Reds and the Boys,
Peacemakers.
Young Senators.
Well, look, of course you start with Chuck Brown.
I started singing in the church and playing piano when I was about 7 years old.
In those days, play a record, stop, announce the next record coming out.
Chuck was like, man, the hell was stopping. We're gonna keep this thing going.
The secret to what Chuck was doing that nobody else was doing at that time, he was playing top 40s, but he would never stop.
The audience seemed to like that better than they liked the record. That little interlude became very popular, and the young ones picked up on it.
So I think the first 5 of go-go bands were, number 1, Chuck Brown, Trouble Funk.
Trouble Funk, first of all original stuff. It started as Trouble Band and Show.
This band ain't nothing but a whole lot of trouble.
Hi, we're Trouble Funk, and we're still smoking with the Go-Go on MTV.
I was just a kid, young kid, around 16, 17 years old, living in the projects in Southeast.
Trouble came out with E-Flat Boogie. They were the first go-go band to put out a 12-inch record. That took things to a whole nother level.
EU was just, they was different, but what I loved about it, the name, Experience Unlimited.
I got the name Experience Unlimited from Jimi Hendrix Experience.
And it was different from what you had from Trouble Funk. It was different from what you had from Chuck, but it was good.
A lot of the hip hop groups in New York, we were mixing it up.
Spike Lee came in.
And he heard the band, and he was just going ape.
I knew that moment that I heard it, it was going places. It was too catchy.
Another #1 record.
When he came back and he did the tour, and he came back, and a lot of people in DC thought that they had sold out.
We wasn't received well. They call us sellouts.
We're really possessive of our culture.
Chuck. Trouble. EU.
And then after that, I mean, you probably Junk.
Trouble Funk, EU, and Junkyard.
It started back in 1980.
At Bernie Elementary School, which was the neighborhood school where the guys lived at, in Berry Farms, the project, so to speak.
And every time after the school over, we'll go get some buckets and cans and, start playing the school riverments.
One thing about Junkyard that you gotta respect for a lot of years, even when they got on, they still played on them buckets. You dig what I'm saying? Because it was their sound.
Rick Rubin came down, checked us out. He said he liked what he saw. We had conversations, we signed papers, and went to the studio. They rolled with that. I evaluated things, and I said, we just sitting on the shelf right now. And I think we could do better if we can get out of this deal. So I went to my lawyer, we talked to their lawyers, we worked it out, we got out of the deal.
And then you had this upstart band called Rare Essence that was starting to make a lot of noise.
Rare Essence. These names are amazing.
The fact that we were able to do our own record and get it into the record stores and then get it on the radio while we were still at that age.
Little Benny, man, wow.
Benny had so much charisma till it just morphed into that.
The best voice ever in go-go.
Now listen, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was his own.
They were all around at that time, but I'm not sure that they were all doing go-go at that time.
That kid was probably one of the best promoters, record promoters in Washington, D.C.
Max was so passionate. You would have had to sit around Max to understand.
Max Kidd got into it, and he took credit for everything that I had did.
85, 86, that's when Benny was completely gone to do his own thing.
In our business, sometimes people get in their own way.
When we sat there, I think it was the Warner Theater, we sat there, it was a hush, man.
Well, he made a mess.
It is what it is, bruh.
Good to Go fell short of his expectations. The music scene was down and it needed a lift.
Go-Go, from the go-go capital of the world, Washington, D.C.
You're a hustler, stone cold hustler. I said you're a hustler.
And I went on first, and that was it. And they kept it on the Go-Go Live tape, and it became a classic.
To me, that was like our Super Bowl.
That was when the competition was good, you know, between the bands.
It was a magical night.
And we had a ball that night. That night was awesome.
Trouble was making noise all around the world.
One of the reasons why people looked around D.C. and they said, where's Trouble from? Well, we were out there being the ambassadors for Go-Go.
A lot of artists grow, even in the hip-hop industry, once they cross over.
I was a baby. My brother had all the cassette tapes. You gotta be a student of the game. That's why I tell these youngsters.
You got everybody coming together and doing their part, and then we also teach our children, we're gonna be all right.
It's our responsibility to keep pushing, to keep writing music, to keep performing, to keep getting creative and innovative with our shows.
If you don't know where you come from, you sure enough don't know where you're going. It's up to us to really stay true to what we know.
Stone cold hustler. Joe, you're a hustler.